Hi, guys. Hi, Lisa. I'm here with my friend Lisa. Make sure I say this correctly. Eldracher.
Yeah, perfect.
I said it right. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Who I've known since 2013 or 14?
I think 13.
2013.
Yeah.
She and I met each other through the NKT community, which is NKT stands for Neurokinetic Therapy. And it is a really great neuromuscular modality for learning how to help affect change in the body without just massaging everything or just exercising everything, which is what I was doing when I first met you. And I'm really excited that she and I are talking together today because I haven't seen her in at least 5 years, if not longer. And she was always one of my favorite people to hang out with and play with. So
thank you.
Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
just
with
as well
me.
to see you. As great to see you.
It's fun to see each other. So I need to be caught up on all the things, but before I get caught up on all the things, I'm wondering if you could tell people who are watching how you started, where you live, what you do, and that will be helpful.
So I started out as a trainer a zillion years ago, and then from training, I realized a lot of people had a lot of mobility issues, so I got into yoga and fascial stretch therapy and things like that. And that was all great to add in, and then realized that people were coming back with more and more problems that just yoga and stretching were not helping. So, and I also realized that I probably should get a license to touch people. So I went to massage school, kind of more along those lines, just to kind of get that background so I could take it further. And then got into the NKT, and then from the NKT, you know how it just opens up the rabbit hole there, and then onto the PDTR, and it just, the more you learn, the more you realize how much more there is to learn. So that's kind of the progress. But I'd say the biggest thing that kind of gave me that push to really want to go and put that effort in to learn that was I had 2 back surgeries myself. And I felt like I was getting bopped around from surgeon to orthopedist to physical therapist to chiropractor to, all over, and just wasn't getting anywhere. And then I wound up having to have a second surgery. And that's when I really decided I needed to understand this more and try to figure it out. And I still remember being in a lot of pain, leaning over a countertop because I couldn't stand up straight, saying something good is going to come out of this. And this is what I think the good is, like it's weird how I look. It's easy to look back at it now, but I remember thinking something has to come out of this, and it did. And it really made me want to learn more and understand about how the body works, the nervous system, pain, all that. So, and that just kind of, it gives me a lot more, I don't know how to say it, just, I don't know if it's empathy or just kind of more understanding where people are coming from, because I've been there, so. Yeah.
Do you work with a lot of people with back pain?
Yes. It's like the magnet.
It is. I know.
Yeah. But it's, truthfully, it's not hard to find a lot of people with back pain these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, I do. And I definitely, I feel like I connect with them right away.
Right. So, it's important to be it's important for us all to have gone through something physical in order to really understand pain. I know for a long time, I actually had very little physical pain.
Right.
And I had kids and I had a lot of physical pain.
That'll do it.
Weakness and whatever. And then I could really understand and empathize. Better.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So you did all of this, and somehow you were in Connecticut.
Right.
And now you're not there anymore.
Yeah. So as I was kind of rebranding and trying to do different things, I kind of got caught up a little bit sometimes, like when I would learn the latest new thing. Oh, that's like, because you're studying it, it's kind of all you're trying to do. And then I finally needed to kind of step back and say, okay, now look, why don't you start putting all of these things in place and hit it from different angles? Because obviously people need and respond to different therapies or different treatments much better. So where I was working, I was commuting a crazy distance. The traffic was always horrible. Every time I sat at my table, I felt like I needed to be the one to get on the table. So I needed to start over. And I figured if I'm going to start all over again, I might as well go somewhere I want to. So I moved across the country to Arizona. And that just made things so much easier.
Hard in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been 10 months since I moved, and a lot has gone on since then. And it's been quite a learning experience. So, but a good one.
So how many times have you recreated a practice?
Too many. and that's actually a really good question, because I think I just kind of did a lot of this running around kind of. And then finally, I actually had a point here where I said, okay, you know what? Especially with starting a new business in a whole new location with a whole different kind of clientele. And I had to step back and say, you need to stop and think about yourself first. And I'm not saying about taking care of myself, like figuring things out instead of just being all over the place. And that's probably one of the things that I struggle with most, is that I can kind of go off in too many tangents. So I've really been trying to do that and kind of look at, okay, what has worked with certain people, what hasn't worked, what's a better way to kind of bring in this modality or a whole bunch of modalities, and kind of learn that way. And when I started doing that, it was a lot better.
Yeah.
How
do you meet new people for clients?
So that was a really good, because I plopped myself down in downtown Phoenix, not ever having been in downtown Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I just started kind of reaching out to people, and a lot of times that just went completely unanswered. And then through networking with people and just kind of talking to them the way you talk to people, it's the best way to find out what people need, right? So oh, this one knows this, maybe you can help them, and it just kind of like word of mouth. I know they say you got to have all this online stuff, but for me right now, word of mouth and getting to know people has been the best thing.
Yeah. So, which is scary.
Very scary. Very scary. But it's, I figured I jumped in, I better figure out how to swim.
It's true. It's true. I remember when I moved to Colorado, it was the same for me.
Yeah.
It was a huge change. It was a whole different climate. The people here are really different than the people on the East Coast. They have different interests. They have different hobbies.
Yep. And I'm sure like in Denver, like in Phoenix, it's kind of a melting pot. There's a lot of people from a lot of different places. So it's very different. Probably if I wasn't such a wuss with the snow, I would have just followed you to Denver and just made it easy on myself and just stayed with you and Noah, and that would have been it.
I know, we still have a space in our gym.
If you just could get rid of the snow.
I know. Well, we have no snow right now. It's 60.
I know, right?
I hear that.
Yeah, it's hard, but I think it was probably the slap in the face that I needed to kind of figure things out a little bit.
So when you were networking, did you try going to like a BNI or?
Yep. So a friend of mine introduced me to someone from BNI, and this is actually kind of interesting. I used to always try to work with, like, they say don't market to everyone because then you're marketing to no one, kind of thing. But when you're starting out, you're like, yeah, but I need everyone and anyone I can get. But I started feeling, again, all over the place trying to do that. And one person that I met in a BNI group, which I didn't go. I went to this meeting with her, but I never joined BNI or anything. Right. She has worked with horses her whole life and taught lessons and, trains horses. And she trains like the worst, hardest to train horses. And I am obsessed with horses. I know everyone loves their dogs, and I think dogs are really nice, but I'm like that crazy with the horses, but I know nothing about them. So she's had a lot of injuries and past traumas and problems from falls and kicks and dealing with these crazy horses. So I started working on her and then going to her place to kind of learn about the horses. And it's very, very therapeutic for me.
Ooh.
So now it's kind of like when I have clients that I know that they're really into animals and, you know, maybe because they're living in downtown Phoenix, they can't have an animal or whatever. Like if they can go and see the horses and just kind of deal with them a little bit, it's a really non-invasive, just kind of, I don't know, very natural way of kind of letting some of your fears and things out. And it's really been pretty cool. So now I'm kind of getting into that, like my little niche with equestrians.
Wow.
So the people that need it, obviously they're the people that, when I say the need it, that some people that I've been referring that maybe it's like a whole new novel thing, but then I've since met the equestrians who they've had a lot of issues with falls and concussions and kicks and all kinds of stuff. And in the process, I met a woman who does body work on the horses. Mm-hmm. So with her and I kind of combining, it's been very cool. So it just kind of all progressed. And it's just been fun to kind of learn that.
That is incredible. So are you learning equine therapy?
So a little bit, but because she does that, I'm letting that be her thing.
Yeah.
I'm working on the riders, and then we kind of interact and talk about, okay, what does she need the horse to do? What does the horse need this person to be do? And it's, you know, you've got these two nervous systems that, you know, when you look at people that ride really well, like the signals that they give to these animals, these huge animals, are amazing because it's so subtle. So I can look at it as, oh, well, like my hips are so out of alignment, and now the horse is reading this as, you know, something else. And it's been really kind of fun to collaborate and learn about it. And because I love them so much, you know, going to set my table up at a barn, it's kind of cool.
The best thing ever.
Yeah.
And a really, really fun niche to fall into, actually.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of interest in that, or if there isn't yet, there will be.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty much, you know, there's no shortage of chiropractors and body workers and massage therapists and trainers and everybody out here. So I really kind of had to find something different, you know, to kind of pursue. So.
Yeah, but there's only one Lisa.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, that's so cool. Wow, I love that. Mm-hmm. You know, I've heard of people doing equine therapy where they bring people with trauma into the barn, and they heal the psychological trauma of PTSD or whatever it is that they are working on.
Yeah.
But I've certainly worked with some horses and their rider every now and then, but I've not ever seen anyone doing it the way that you're doing it with one person that's dedicated to the horse, and you're working on the rider, and then together you're bringing more peace into the relationship between the rider and the horse.
Yeah. And it's funny because, you know, when I first heard this woman was working on, I thought, what is she, just like rubbing and massaging these horses? And she's not. She's doing a lot of like this, it's almost like the neuro work and trigger points and all kinds of things. It's really, really cool, resetting their jaw. And, you know, you see the similarities of when they're out of alignment and when they start riding together, and they tell you how much better it feels together. It's really cool.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And a couple of times that I've worked on horses, we did use PDTR with the horse.
Yeah.
And use the abdominal reflex to PDTR.
Yep.
I thought that was really cool, fun.
Yeah. So, and I used to, when I was in Connecticut, I was a volunteer at like it was an equine therapy, and it was for children and adults that had either physical or mental disabilities. And, you know, it was fun, but it was kind of like, you know, you just walked on the side of the horse and made sure they didn't fall off. You know, this is kind of really kind of getting into the nitty gritty of it. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So obviously one struggle you've had is rebuilding yourself over and over and over again.
Yeah. And that struggle actually started when I switched over from training and yoga to body work, because I wasn't doing like traditional massage where people say, okay, I come once a month or twice a month for it. It was always the goal of get them better as quickly as you possibly can and out the door. And so now it's okay. Oh, you had a great new client, you saw them 3 times, they're done. Now you need another new client, you know? So, and coming from a training background where people want a trainer, they're going to see you 1 to 3 times a week. That's it. They know it. So like you're always booked. So that was something I had to really learn. And it's funny because I almost am going backwards, where a lot of people that I've met through the trainings I've taken, they started out doing massage and all this, and then they just wanted more, so they're doing more. But I'm almost going backwards a little bit and trying to do more soft tissue techniques and things to incorporate into more of a maintenance thing.
I think that's actually really common from the other people that I've spoken to, where they learn that you kind of have this trajectory of learning all these very complicated techniques and then circling back to the basics.
Yeah. And sometimes people just come in, and you can see when they come in, it's like, they just need to.
They need to be touched.
Have a little hands-on TLC, relax, and then, you know, so that's kind of, it's all been a learning process. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What else has been hard for you along the way? Like, what was hard for you when you were learning NKT, for instance? Modalities.
The hardest thing is, what's always been a problem for me, is lack of confidence. You know, I'm not smart enough. Everyone else is smarter than me. I don't know this. I can never do it. You know, when I took NKT 1, I mean, that's how I met you, because I was going to, you know, hold onto your hand and let you go you know, if Jamie's doing a study group, I'm there, you know, just because I was so sure that it was going to take me so much more to learn it. And I think that's been a big thing with me too, that I could have 15 great sessions and then have a session with someone where, you know, didn't go so well, or there was I just didn't feel like I did anything for them. And that one session can make me go from, oh, I love my job, I love what I do, I love helping people. You stink, you're not good enough, you know, what are you doing? Why are you trying to do this? You should go back to being a trainer, you know, that kind of stuff.
Totally.
And, you know, getting that out of the noggin is always a work in progress.
It is. Yep. I can remember going through a lot of that, especially when I was beginning to learn that particular neurological technique, because everybody, I mean, of course, I was comparing myself to people who had been doing it for a long time.
Right.
And I'm like, well, they seem to get it. They seem to find these relationships very fast. And I also did not have the soft tissue skills that other people had. I had very rudimentary soft tissue skills. In school, you don't learn massage. So I just, I don't know, just kind of goofed off a little bit with that part of it. So yeah, I remember being pretty scared and unconfident too.
Yeah. And feeling like I didn't know anatomy nearly as well as I should. And I didn't, truth be told, but you know, when they teach you anatomy for training, it's kind of like, okay, your lat pull down, you know, and of course
whatever.
I learned it years ago, and I didn't do the massage until after the NKT. So I really felt like a deer in headlights. So it was, but you know, so I finally said, well, there's a way to remedy that. You could start studying. So I did.
And learn how to touch in more specificity.
Well, I remember shadowing you and Noah, and which was one of the best things that I ever did. And I remember being in a room with you when you were putting your hands over someone's back, and you said to me, "What do you think?" And I thought, she's asking me, what do I think? And so I'm like, well, I better figure this out and tell her. And I came up with something, and you're like, yeah. And I'm thinking, really? You know, and you told me, learn to trust yourself. And I still remember that. I mean, that was probably 5 years ago. I still remember that, because I just was afraid, well, these people know what they're doing. I don't know, you know? So it's there's always the confidence thing.
I think that's, it's definitely a journey to begin to trust yourself. Yeah. Especially through all the modalities that we have learned. Yeah. You got to learn to trust yourself as a trainer. Going.
Yeah. And so as a trainer, you're not really supposed to touch people, right? So you kind of always back off. So it's been different that way, but now it's nice. I can look back and see, if I just could have just said, just don't worry if you don't know everything, just keep going, you know? Yeah. Could have saved myself some stress.
Keep trying. I did an interview yesterday with my friend Melinda, and we had a similar conversation. We were reflecting on how we were when we first began to do hypnotherapy and how it was kind of a joke. We didn't
Right.
know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And just being grateful to all of those people that came into my practice at that time, and
Right.
they were willing to work with me as a newbie.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I was figuring it out.
Yeah. So I have a lot of clients to thank that hung it out with me.
Right?
But I think as long as they felt like, hey, I was really invested in them
Yeah.
feeling better and I really wanted to help them, I think that goes so far in helping someone feel better.
Yep.
And when I think of my experiences going into like doctor's offices or something versus going to someone who really wanted to help, right, I think that's half of it right there.
It really is. And it's something I've noticed in my practice too, that people come in and maybe they get out of pain, maybe they don't.
Yeah.
But I'm there holding space, loving them, caring about them.
Yeah.
And they feel that feels good to them.
Yeah.
And then there's healing in that.
Yeah, exactly.
That takes place.
And I know for myself too, and I try to explain this to people when I work with them. And some people are interested and some people aren't, and I can tell pretty much right off the bat if they're not, and I'll just leave it alone. But I know for me, so I had a period of 8 years where my back was really, really bad. And the first beginning of that 8 years and the second of that 8 years, that's when I had the 2 surgeries. And I actually had a really, really bad episode in between those 2 surgeries. And then even after that, it became, you feel something, oh my God, what's going on back? Oh, what's going on back? So if I can just educate them about how their body's working, maybe how when something's out of alignment, how maybe sometimes you feel these things and it's just your body telling you, hey, pay attention to this before I got to scream at you. It's so much more comforting alone. So like now if something happens, I'm like, okay, what's not in alignment? What am I overdoing? And it's not a big deal. And I think that helps take the fear factor out, right? Which is contributing to their pain. So some people, I think they appreciate that too.
Yeah, that's a major part of the talks that I have with new people too. This is just this pain, this sensation that you're experiencing is your body telling you that there's something going on that wants to be brought back into balance or looked at, listened to, what's your body trying to tell you?
Right.
Yeah. So what do you do when your body talks to you?
So I try to stay on top of it as much as I can. And I know certain things that really work well for me. So hiking is great for me because I like the physical aspect of it. I like being able to push myself without having any impact. But I think it's a lot to do with being out in nature because I like to be outside in nature. It's funny now that I've gotten into this horse thing, I will literally go and groom some horses. And sometimes just doing something like that kind of, if I'm just not, it's amazing what being outside and doing that will do for me. I taught yoga for 10 years. So I don't do classes. I don't do like a full practice or anything anymore, but I know what I need. So sometimes I'll do just like a short 15, 20-minute yoga flow for myself. Just, anything I know that kind of brings me back into balance. So sometimes I know I need to like work out hard just to get the stress out. And sometimes I need to just go for a walk. So I try to, I don't go into, this is my workout routine anymore. It's kind of go with what you need,
So you're able to kind of in the moment choose what feels right.
Yeah. And it's been kind of nice that I can kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How long did it take you to sort that out?
Long time, because I probably helped myself to my surgeries with the no pain, no gain mentality. And then, screw this, I'm going to just, keep going. And then I think like when I was trying to go through PT and chiropractic and this, and it wasn't helping, I just said, forget everything. And now if there's one thing I've learned with all these classes and things I've taken is that the body can heal itself if you just help it along.
Yes, that's true.
try to figure out what it needs at that moment.
Yep. And not try to use your brain as much as your felt sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if the problem is all here, work on that. And I literally had to do that, probably a month or two ago, that was the main issue. But it's funny how other things will melt away when you get that taken care of.
How do you work on your mind?
I read a lot on, all different kinds of things, whether it's like reading yoga texts and chakras and self-help and self-development, or just neuroscience and what's going on, and just try to look at all different things. And some things resonate with me, and some things I'm like, doesn't
not for now.
Do it for me. And then I write, and I find that when I write, like, it just comes out. And it's funny because I have such writer's block when I have to write something, but if I want to go and write, it's like I could just fill up a notebook. It doesn't stop, so really? I find that when I do that, it helps me.
Helps you get your feelings to move, your energy to move.
And it kind of gets me a little more focused, because I think I can get a little scatterbrained with it all. So it kind of gets me back into being focused. So I can get very brain foggy when things are kind of too either stressful or whatever, or if I'm not sure about something or whatever, it helps. So,
yeah, it's one of the first things I give people to do when I start working with them, whether it's body work or emotional work. If someone's coming to me for like a sprained ankle, it's not like this, but
right.
If people are coming in with chronic pain and I recognize a lot of their symptoms are related to emotions that they're not allowing to move, or they're in a difficult life experience, I will give them the suggestion to start writing in a journal and start recording their dreams and start helping their energy to move in that way. How long have you been doing that?
For a long time, but I think now, because I've been through so much change and I've had a lot of stress involved with the whole move, and I think I've been much more regular with it because I've needed it, So, ideally, I would love to do it every morning when I first get up, and it just kind of sets the tone for the day. And if I can do that, that and some breathing exercises. At least the first hour will go well till something happens.
Right, exactly. I do that too. I'll have a cup of coffee in the morning, do a little meditation. Lately, Noah and we share our dreams with each other. He analyzes my dreams. He analyzes his dreams.
Yeah, I would if I could remember them.
No, I didn't remember them either, but I learned that if I have a dream in the middle of the night and I wake up, I'll just write down like 3 or 4 words about the dream, and it's enough to trigger me to remember the rest of it in the morning.
Yeah.
But if I don't do that, forget it. They're gone.
Yeah. Or I'll wake up knowing that I had some crazy dreams, but I can't remember them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Huh. So you've been to a lot of different practitioners, right? What for you lets you know that you're in the right place?
That's a great question. I guess knowing, during the initial conversation with someone, talking to them, if you feel like they get what I'm saying to them, or they're just like, yeah, keep talking, lady, I'm going to dig an elbow in your back kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that never goes well.
Yeah.
It's funny. I just volunteered to get a massage at a friend's massage school because the students need to work on a massage therapist and then get feedback.
Cool.
And so I said, let me help her out, because she needed some help with it. So I said, let me go ahead and do that. And then I did it. And then I thought, oh my gosh, what did I just sign up for? Like, I'm picky about anybody working on me. And now I've got, forget it. And I'm probably the only massage therapist that hates getting a massage. I don't like the pressure on my back. Whatever it is. So I went in, and there was a guy that was going to work on me, And I just told him, look, please just don't dig. I just pretend you're practicing your Swedish massage.
Yeah.
And he listened to me, and he was very attentive. And then it turned out that he also was already like a Reiki master who taught Reiki, who knew all this. And he was telling me, don't worry, I don't dig into people anyhow.
Yeah.
So he used such a light touch, and to the point where I almost felt like, okay, you could put a little pressure on, but
just hovering over the body.
Exactly. But because I trusted him and he was listening to what I had asked for, then I was able to relax, and I actually felt really good afterwards. So I think it's just someone who just they're listening to what you say and what you need at the time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So do I understand it correctly? Like, it almost doesn't even matter what the modality is, as long as the practitioner is
listens
mindful
to me and kind of thinks about, in their point of view, what is going to help this person walk out of here feeling good? Because that's what I try to do, right? Because everybody wants something different. So, I've been to some therapists that it's done nothing for me, and it didn't hurt me, but didn't do anything. I've been to massage therapists that have hurt me, and I didn't like it. But like I said, this guy was great, and he just understood. And I was very stressed before I went there. I had heard some not so great news right before I went, and he was great. He chilled me out. So
So did he use Reiki on you too?
I don't
knowingly
Reiki, but I could hear him doing like his breathing and his centering, and I thought, okay, this is not like your typical massage school student who this is their first stop and doesn't really, he kind of understood the whole energy and like letting the nervous system chill out. So that was very nice.
That's really good.
And that was not a hit on massage school students, because let me tell you what, I didn't know.
Everybody starts somewhere.
But everybody starts, right? Yeah. This guy obviously had that background. He knew. So it was funny that I wound up getting paired with him, because it's exactly what I needed.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfectly designed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. I love getting Reiki.
Yeah.
Distance Reiki, in-person Reiki, it doesn't matter. I want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So we have to go because I know you have a client.
Yep.
First of all, what are you excited about in the future, in the next year? What's coming up for you?
So I'm excited that I think I'm finally getting it, as far as only took this long, which is good, because pretty soon I'll be ready to retire. I'm just kidding.
But you'll be retiring in a nice hot place.
Yes. No, I don't think I'll ever be able to retire at this point, but I feel like it's kind of coming together, and it's almost like when someone has to hit rock bottom before they finally start. I think I started having so many things thrown at me at once. This new location, how do I market myself? What am I doing? Am I just a massage therapist? Blah, 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 blah. And kind of taking a step back, looking at what I do enjoy doing, what I like doing. And so I'm excited about learning more techniques, but using the whole toolkit. And kind of figuring out exactly what will help that person in that session, and not feeling like I have to fix everything in one session.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a heavy load.
Yeah. And you get some of these like, great sessions where you do, the person jumps off the table, they're wonderful, and they go out and tell everybody that it only takes one session and they can fix everything. And I tell them, wait a minute, I lost my magic wand.
I know, right?
It's crazy. So it's nice that they want to tell everyone, but it's also a lot of pressure.
It is. And I got to tell you, when I first moved here to Colorado, Noah had a track record like that.
Yeah.
And
so no pressure.
So for anyone watching who's not even aware of who Noah is my business partner. He invited me to come out here and work with him in Colorado. And he is like a wizard at bodywork. He knows everything. He can do ART and massage and NKT and PDTR and all these modalities. And people are always walking out, talking him up. Like he's like a god.
Yeah.
So of course, here I am coming in with my emotional toolbox.
Which is a great adjunct to what he does, right?
It is.
But you still feel that
but people don't like get magical emotional results
right,
immediately.
Right.
It takes time So I had to
integration.
drop a lot of comparison. I had to
Mm-hmm.
learn that what I offer is also beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like what he offers. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like what I offer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a healing, and that was definitely challenging for me too. So
Yeah.
I resonate with that.
Yeah.
So you have something lovely to offer to anyone watching, a special exercise, right?
Oh, the foam roller?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you do to
So,
take, one of the things you do to take care of yourself, right?
yeah, so basically I try to just get on a foam roller lengthwise,
Mm-hmm.
open my arms. It's actually been pretty funny because I grew up and lived my whole life in Connecticut. So I used to tell my clients, remember when you used to make snow angels as a kid? And
Yeah.
you'd say that to people in Phoenix and they go, huh?
What? Don't know what you're talking about.
So basically what you want to do is just take a regular foam roller. I take the black, just whatever color, but not with all the,
So not a half roller, a full one.
not a half roller. I have the 36-inch and it's smooth. And you just you sit your butt on the very end, get your head on the other end so it's going along your spine.
Yeah.
Open up your arms and just kind of
snow angel.
Snow angels. And then what I'll do is I'll find like a good spot where I feel a nice stretch but not a strain. And then I'll hang out there and do some deep breathing and, try to clear my mind a little bit. So it's kind of doing the posture, kind of getting things in alignment and breathing and everything all at the same time. And you feel pretty good.
It is really good. I do something similar in my office. Mm-hmm. You'll laugh when you see this.
Was that a bolster? Yeah. Same thing. That's actually probably a little more comfortable to lay on.
It's soft, but it's not long. I mean, I'm almost
not
6
feet
feet tall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Be great for a shorter person. But it kind of, depending on where I put it, I can finagle it.
Yeah. Or maybe you could sit at the end and have some pillows under your head so that your maybe up to like top of the thoracic spine is covered on there. So just so that you can get that support when you open up.
Yeah, because all day long I'm like looking at the computer like this.
Exactly. And it's, So,
and helping people do hypnotherapy clearings, but my body is
or leaning over a table. Yeah. Nothing makes us do this.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. So how often do you recommend people doing that?
Oh, I'm always a big proponent of consistency. So whether it's exercise or your yoga flow or the breathing or whatever, you're better off doing smaller amounts every day or twice a day than saying, okay, I do it once a week for an hour and a half, Right. So I try to do it morning and night minimum, but I find myself all the time on it. I keep it near my desk. Yeah. If I need to in between clients, I'll do it. To me, it just feels good. So it's not hard to make myself do it.
Right.
And I'm not making myself roll, it's not like I feel like I'm going through a whole rolling, thing. Yeah. I'm just laying there and kind of opening up.
Yeah. So. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. Laying there and opening up. I mean, we all should be doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm very excited to have seen you and talk to you today.
Same here. One of these days I'll make a trip out to Denver to see you guys.
Yeah, well, I come to Phoenix like once a year. So next time I actually do that, I'll let you know.
Definitely. Yep.
Okay, we'll catch up. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, I'm going to stop the recording now for all of you guys. Oh, wait. How can people get in touch with you if they want to ask you questions?
My website is the name of my business is Advanced Performance Recovery. Yeah. But my website is advperformancerecovery.com. So you just don't spell the advanced all the way out.
Okay. I'm writing that down for all of you folks so that you don't have to. Wonderful. Okay. So that's how people can reach you. There's a contact button on there. Yeah. And they can find you on Facebook.
Yes. Exactly.
Do you have a business page on Facebook too?
Yeah, but I'm a technological dinosaur, so I just always post stuff to my private one.
That's fine. Great. People can find you on there too. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, love to everyone out there. Thank you so much, Lisa, for your time and for your expertise. And I'm very excited that you were able to spend time with me today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.